This episode of FineScale Modeler's new product rundown features Tarangus's all-new Viggen, Tamiya's new tool Jagdpanzer IV/70, Zvezda's Il-62, and from the hit movie Guardians of the Galaxy, Dragon's 1/9 scale Star-Lord.
Hi, and welcome to FineScale Modeler's new product rundown. I'm Aaron Skinner.
And I'm Tim Kidwell. Let's get things started with Tarangus's much-anticipated new 1/48 scale Saab Viggen.
Yeah, and I'm one of the ones who's been clamoring for this kit.
Yeah, you're a fan of the design, right?
That's right. Ever since I built the Matchbox 72nd scale kit as a kid, hand-painted the splinter camouflage, it looked awful.
I'm sure it did. Before this kit was out, the only other Viggen available on the market was the 30-year-old Eschi.
Yeah, that's in 48 scale. I have one of those in my stash and a whole box full of aftermarket corrections and improvements.
I'm sure that it's going to stay there after this kit.
Oh, indeed. Tarangus is a Swedish company that specializes in Saabs up to this point. They've done the Lansen, Tunnan, and Saphir, but they've been building up to this kit, and this one is a step ahead for them.
Yeah, a far cry from Tarangus's short-run kits. Tarangus delayed the Viggen a number of times just to make sure that they got it right, including doing all new metal moldings.
That's right. The result of all that effort, a box full of parts that look like they could be from Revell or Hasegawa.
Uniform, sharply engraved panel lines and rivets mark the airframe surfaces.
The forward fuselage is split into upper and lower halves.
The rear is split left and right, with the belly incorporated into the one-piece lower wing.
The Viggen's cockpit is pretty compact, but Tarangus includes a 6-part replica of their Rocket Stool 37 ejection seat, instrument panels and side consoles with molded detail, separate throttle controls, and a joystick.
The intakes go all the way back to the front of the engine, all of which locks securely inside the body.
Aft, the jet pipe features molded afterburner detail and separate thrust reverser pedals.
Gear wells show structural detail and plumbing. Brake detail and separate oleo scissors and struts complete the complex Viggen landing gear.
This release is the JA-37 Interceptor version with a 30mm Oerlikon cannon in a conformal pod on the belly.
The only other store in this kit is a centerline fuel tank. Unused pylons on the fuselage and wings anticipate forthcoming weapons.
Unused parts, like an earlier tail and optional cockpit tub, hint at other versions in the future. There's an extra seat, so maybe a 2-seater is in the offing.
Decals provide 4 Swedish Air Force marking options. 2 are the same airframe in variations of two-tone gray camo. Another is natural metal, like the first operational Viggens.
The 4th is the dramatic splinter scheme. A color painting and marking diagram should make the task of finishing this supersonic Swede easier.
I assume you'll be building one of these?
Oh, at least. As good as this looks, I'm tempted to build a whole fleet.
Up next, Tamiya's new 1/35 scale Jagdpanzer IV/70. And this isn't the first time we've seen this tank hunter kitted by Tamiya.
No, in 1976, Tamiya released a Jagdpanzer IV/70 as the 88th kit in its military miniatures catalog.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to keep going. All right, good. He's going to run over my line. Anyway, you fast forward something like 38 years and 250 armor kits, and what we have is this new version.
You're done?
I won't run over your line.
Yes, just like it's done with the Panzer II and the Matilda and some other kits, Tamiya's gone deep into its back catalog, kind of thrown out those tools and started all fresh and new with smashing results.
Yeah. Based on the Panzer IV chassis, this tank hunter had an L-70 gun, which is a 7.5 centimeter cannon.
That's right, more than 900 were built between July 1944 and the end of World War II.
As with any modern Tamiya kit, the Jagdpanzer IV is characterized by terrific engineering that combines good detail with ease of construction.
Molded in tan plastic, the crisp parts show engraved panel lines, petite rivets, and rough torch cuts and weld seams.
The road wheels sandwich polycaps, making installation a snap. The kit shows all steel road wheels on the front 2 axles on either side and rubber rimmed for the remainder.
This was a modification made during production to prevent tires coming off the heavy vehicle in action.
No interior is provided, but the outside, especially the busy engine deck, carries a wealth of tools and spare tracks and wheels.
The one-piece vinyl tracks can be glued and painted with normal model products.
No photo-etched metal is supplied, but Tamiya is selling a turned metal barrel with plastic breech parts for the main gun.
Operating hatches open the fighting compartment, and Tamiya supplies a pair of figures to fill them.
3 marking options are provided on the decal sheet and color marking diagram.
2 on the Western Front in December '44, the other in the East in early 1945.
All are in colorful, late-war three-color camouflage. A short history of the vehicle and a few reference photos are included.
Very nice, Tamiya.
Up next, a new airliner from Zvezda, the Ilyushin Il-62M. And I know someone has been waiting for this.
It's like all my Christmases came at once. A new Viggen, now an Il-62.
He's the only guy I know, as old as he is, that still writes letters to Santa Claus.
Hey, it works. That's all I'm saying. With its rugged and rakish appearance and the engines mounted in twin pods on either side of the tail, the Il-62 just looks cool.
It does. I won't deny that. It was first flown in 1963, and it soon became the Soviet Union's main airliner. And it lasted for many years that way.
That's right, it did. This marks the first injection molded kit of the Il-62 in 1:144 scale, common airliner scale, and it's a beaut.
Zvezda set the bar a few months ago when they released the Airbus A320, and they follow up pretty well with this one.
This is the second in the Ultimate Kit catalog and comes with a raft of options and features.
Construction starts with a cockpit including 5 seats, instrument panel, and engineering and navigation stations.
That detail extends into the cabin vestibule, visible through the posable cabin door.
The wings are molded together, integral with the belly.
Like the Airbus, the flaps are posable. The ailerons and rudder are separate, and although the elevators are fixed, the variable incidence tailplane is movable.
Very fine engraved lines, vents, and hatches comprise the surface detail. The engines are another highlight.
The upper and lower halves of the twin engine pods include the pylons and sandwich interior details.
Separate intakes and exhaust details should minimize awkward cleanup.
The landing gear is scale thin and includes the tail strut used to keep the full-size aircraft from rocking back on its tail while it's on the ground.
If you prefer your airliners airborne, Zvezda includes optional wheel well doors to model the Il-62 gear up. There's a stand too.
There are optional gear legs with the oleos extended if you choose to model the aircraft during takeoff or landing.
A supersized decal sheet provides markings for at least 3 airframes in 5 liveries.
4 of the options are Aeroflot jets, all in the basic blue and white scheme. The other is from the Russian Ministry for Emergency Situations.
A detailed painting plan provides locations and color callouts for Humbrol paints. So just looking at it in the box, is it everything you had hoped for?
Definitely. I see a lot of time at the workbench in coming months. And I suspect Tim's next airbrushing session will involve our last kit today, Dragon's 1/9 scale Star-Lord from the year's biggest movie, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I've got a Wolverine kit I still need to get out of the way first. So,
Figures.
I'll put this one in the queue. Anyway, Dragon didn't waste any time bringing out kits for Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're happy to see this one.
Yes, we are. Molded in heavy gray vinyl, the kit comes in just a few parts.
Some of them are pretty big, the torso for example, and the upper legs and waist.
Typical of vinyl, the detail's a little soft, but mold seams are all but invisible.
The dramatic pose has Star-Lord with jacket flowing out and both pistols drawn.
Optional parts allow for the metal face mask to be shown on or off.
The parts have a good likeness of actor Chris Pratt's face.
A quick test shows the parts slot together cleanly. The real trick here will be in the painting.
It's a great looking kit, and I can't tell you how awesome it is to see these kits on store shelves while the movie's still in the theater.
Yeah, it's like being a kid again. You remember when the Star Wars kits were on store shelves even before the movie was released?
Yeah, it's actually really important, so good job, Dragon. That's it for this episode of FineScale Modeler's New Product Rundown. Look for reviews of the Viggen and the Il-62 in upcoming issues of FineScale Modeler magazine.
Yeah, and you can see more of these and other new releases in the December issue, which is on sale now.
Thanks for visiting FineScale.com. I'm Tim Kidwell.
And I'm Aaron Skinner. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Created 1/48 scale Viggen.
And I'm one of those who's been clamoring for this kit.
I bet you are.